the shortstop.
And the offense has been spectacular, really, all season long.
The 1-1. That's interesting. You just mentioned it. When you have a player that goes down, it's hard to find another guy to move into that position. And Florida's had a ton of injuries all season long they've dealt with.
Yeah, it's really, you know, everybody uses the phrase next man up, but Florida has exemplified that all year. You just keep wondering, and let's be honest, Texas too, but you just keep wondering how can they keep sustaining not just injuries but to star players. And both these rosters have really flexed their depth throughout the course of the year, the fact that they're still in such great positions, both of them.
Hitters count now 3-1. And that's upstairs and a leadoff walk to start the ball game. Yeah, Chris, we cover this and watch it, but it is amazing at times for me to see how teams bounce back when they lose. Not just players, but such key players.
Yeah, I mean, Texas is missing their best hitter and their ace.
Yeah.
So, you know, it's one thing to have injuries. It's another thing when it's your best players. And so for both of these clubs, they've been really tested with not just injuries, but star injuries.
Lawson steps in. First pitch in there for a strike. Here at Dish Falk Field is the sun that you get for the about first hour here for night games, where pitcher is in the sun and the shadow, and then you have the sheen off the scoreboard, the hitter's backdrop. Makes it tough to see. Lawson riding a 5-game hitting streak, fouls this ball back.
Now, Keith, this is your first look at Brendan Lawson, right?
Yes.
But you're going to like him. I'm telling you, there's some talented freshmen in this league, position players. Derek Curiel for LSU is probably the other one that gets the most buzz, but this kid right here, Brendan Lawson, is as polished as any young hitter in this league.
He's reached a 20 of 21 affairs safely. Throw over.
How about this for a first time through the league? 31 walks, 8 hit by pitches, so 39 free passes against 39 strikeouts. Pretty good hitting in the middle of the order in this league.
If you can match that up, that's really good. Young, usually those are veteran players.
Yeah, you know it, right? It's first year, usually that percentage is very skewed, walks to Ks. Yeah. Usually way more Ks than walks. Second year it grows. Third year, the best players usually end up even or maybe even a few more walks than Ks. But to do it almost out of the gate shows you this kid's got a very bright future.
The 1-2, delayed steal, and nice, well done. Executed perfectly for the stolen base.
How about this? About shuffle, shuffle, go. And Galvan just totally missed it. Flores was there. They actually, the middle, usually you get a delayed steal, you beat the middle.
Yeah.
But that time it was Galvan that dropped to a knee and looked to the dugout.
The 2-2, James Speeds gets the strikeout. That's the split that he goes through there to get the strikeout.
Yeah, one of his favorite put-away pitches against left-handers. And that the bottom just drops. Not only does he get the depth, but he gets that arm side fade. And we talked about a guy that's a tough dude to punch out. He gets a clutch K, really, because all Lawson needed to do was move the runner there to make this a very easy RBI opportunity. So a big punch out there from Riojas.
Amen will step in. Great production. 13 homers on the year. Swing and a miss for strike one. It is not an offensive night here at the Dish. This is a big ballpark, the Dish Falk Field, and the wind is blowing straight in from center field as the junior steps back in. On the ground, into left, through the shift. Body advances.
Oh, my. Taylor Black sending him the whole way. That you talk about a miscommunication. Bozer is getting, and Taylor Black having a conversation with him right now. He's being brought home the whole way. He pauses for a second. He just assumes Taylor Black, look, he's bringing him around, Keith. And Bozer just decides to put the brakes on. Man, that's a veteran play. That brings Sully to the top step. Sully not happy about that one now.
get a base hit, what you think you might score. Now the double play still in order.
Against a guy that has that kind of stuff, too.
Evans will step in. Pitch downstairs. This is when, as a hitter, Berkey, both of you and I hit. This is when you really got to pay attention to what you're doing as a hitter right here. You want to get the ball up to swing in.
It's such a challenge, too, because you know he knows. And so it's the cat and mouse of, okay, I got a sinker baller on the mound who wants to get me to hit a ground ball. I need to get the ball elevated. And, man, these are the fun at-bats where you really got to put a plan together and execute it as a hitter.
2-0 breaking ball at the top of the zone for a strike. Evans hitting .219 against right-handed pitching on this season as he steps back in.
Evans, an interesting story. He's only got 38 bats in conference play because he's been another one of these guys that's battled injuries and some inconsistent performance throughout the year. But has been much better lately. Another part of this Florida lineup that has kind of woke up and started 3 homers here in conference play. Take a look right there. First 25 games had not hit a homer, and here the last few weeks has found his power.
Well, big pitch now. Runners at first and third with 1 out here at the top of the first. Riojas. Good piece of hitting. This ball driven to right field. Farmer on the run. Up against the wall. The ball bounces out of his glove. This is going to score 1. They're going to hold the runner at third, and Farmer hit the wall at a dead run as he was trying to secure that baseball.
My goodness. Now, Keith, the wind's not doing a ton right now. Early in the day, it was really blowing out to right. Evans gets behind this baseball and launches it into the right center field gap. Farmer had a beat on it from the jump and runs basically through the wall. This ball, it actually came out before he hit the wall. Very interesting. Dealing with some shadows out there and some sun right as he gets to the wall. That ball pops out. The Gators cash it in, and they're in position to put a crooked number here in the first.
Yeah, for Evans, that is his 7th double of the year. Infield back for Texas. Big swing and a miss from Sear as he steps in on the breaking ball. What do you want to do when you go on the road? You want to establish that first inning. Score first. The 0-1 changes arm slots. Fastball in there for a strike.
Riojas, it's been a rough run for him here now the last couple starts. Arkansas put a 9 spot on him in 3 2/3, and Florida's got a chance to do some damage here out of the gate as well.
This ball gets through, back to this is going to score a run. And just like that, a crooked number for the Gators.
You don't see that very often. Ball getting past Rylan Galvan. Riojas is going to continually put balls that are chase-type pitches, and he trusts his captain backstop to keep that ball in front, but that one went right through the 5-hole.
Infield now drawn up. 2-2, actually 1-2 pitch. This is way outside.
How about this? You like it or not? I like the infield in here.
Yeah, I'd like to stop the bleeding. That's the first thing. But you do have 9 at-bats left.
The old adage is it's too early. KP and I have this conversation all the time. It's too early. It's too early. I'm thinking, what are you really giving up by coming in? You're giving up maybe a single that you normally would catch, right? I mean, it's not like coming in gives up an extra base hit. The extra base hit is regardless of the infield position. Maybe he gets a ball past third. He might not.
Do you take the runner out and say we're going to make it go through, though? If you come up, just
you're saying as a third base runner.
As a third base runner, are you on contact?
Yeah.
Because you know there's a huge difference in the two.
I would go on contact myself.
2-2 upstairs. I like the contact play here too.
Because if you're out by a mile, you get in a rundown, the guy gets second base, it takes a base hit to score you anyway, right? So I would make them play catch.
Already the 24th pitch of the inning, the 3-2. Upstairs, And the second walk of the inning, and runners at first and third. It's still 1 out in the frame. I would be surprised if we don't have a visit here.
Yeah,
I mean, early.
Here he comes. Yeah. Max Wiener coming out with his normal pace and energy. This is the most high energy, smiling pitching coach. You ever have a pitching coach in your day hop out there?
You know, most of them would take their time to go out. Now I had some that had a really good sense of humor.
Okay, yeah.
As a catcher,
yeah.
You know, they'd go out and it'd be a tough situation, and instead of coming out and say, well, you're opening your front shoulder or you're gripping the ball differently, they would say something just to
lighten the mood.
Lighten the mood. And then I've had those guys that will run out there real quickly and say 2 words, very pertinent words, but 2 words. You know, so
throw strikes.
Yes, throw strikes. That's
something
exactly
like that.
Right.
Yeah.
You hit it right on the nose. It was 2 words, throw strikes.
Like, I know
and
you
turn around and go back to the
yeah,
dugout.
I know you probably don't need me to tell you this, but just so you know, we need you to throw strikes. Thank you.
The last 2 starts for Ruger, he has struggled. He gave up 9 earned runs at Arkansas in his start last Thursday night. Now he's given up 2 here in the first, still 1 out. Runners at first and third. This is outside for ball 1. .6'5", 235-pound junior from Lakeland, Florida. Takes that ball downstairs, and it's 2-0.
Boy, it just feels like Riojas is nibbling. It doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel like he trusts his stuff right now, Keith.
All right, and as a hitter right now, I'm really starting to zone out. I'm going to swing at my pitch. The 2-0. This is upstairs, and it's 3-0.
And the breaking balls that we've seen have not been particularly sharp either. There's a lack of conviction with which Riojas is delivering the baseball right now. You see that deep breath there, just trying to find something to get going.
3-0 way outside, and that loads the bases. 3rd walk of the frame. Florida a chance to really get some separation here early. Yost comes to the plate. From the left side, Gator center fielder will step in. Longhorns at double play depth in the middle of the infield. Inside.
Isn't it funny when you're hot, you come up in situations like this? Yost coming off SEC Player of the Week, 8 RBIs last weekend. And when you know it, his first at bat of the week, he's got the bases loaded and 1 out. This is just the way it goes when you're hot. Opportunities keep presenting themselves.
On the ground, into right field. This is going to score a couple. Throw coming, doesn't come to the plate. Now it finally does. Offline, 4-0 Gators.
Well, and just like that, Hayden Yost stays red hot. Again, this is a Florida team that is not highlighted by the superstars that we've come to know them by, but it's a lineup that's really executing top to bottom. Not the hardest hit ball of Hayden Yost's career, but right in that 4-hole. Tommy Farmer hesitates. The Gators add 2 more as they now send their 8th hitter to the plate here in the first.
Yeah, still just 1 out in the inning. 3 for 6 now in the season is Yost with the bases loaded. As Wilson steps in. Spits in there for a strike.
There is a little movement going on. We got somebody, it looks like, getting hot in the Longhorn bullpen. Oh, Grubbs already. We got on that, Keith.
Well, it's pretty early in the ball game. Pitch misses outside. Something gets in the air here, and it's 6-7-0.
Are you bringing in your dude that far behind?
It'd be really hard for me to do that. I mean, I'm going to save him for a champ. You know, hopefully you still have 9 at bats.
That's right.
But upstairs, And I think we're going to see a move to the bullpen right now.
Yeah, Schloss has seen enough.
Here in the top of the first, the Florida Gators have sent 7 batters to the plate. 6 of those 7 have reached and have put a 4 spot, 6 wins. I love the fact that when he comes into the game, he handles the situation, and that's what he's asked to do right here.
Yeah, very much a calming influence for this pitching staff. He's tied with actually Riojas for most wins in conference play. He's got 5 of them out of the bullpen, just to show you how valuable he has been to this Texas pitching staff. You talk about being a fireman. You got to come in here and put out a serious blaze, because this Gator offense just continues to play at a very high level.
Well, it does. They got a 4 spot on the board, and you're still just 1 out in the inning. And you see Friday night guy most of the season, Jared Spencer, out for the year. Shoulder injury. He was that guy that sort of set the table for Texas all season long.
Yeah, we talked about it. Man, losing your ace is a really, really tough pill to swallow, especially deep into the season.
2-1 delivery just misses, and it's 3-1 to Wilson. Longhorns a double play depth in the infield. Needing an out. That misses inside. 4th walk of the inning by Texas pitching, and that loads the bases again. Nadeau will step in. Second baseman from the left side. 9th hitter of the frame for the Gators. Grubb's first pitch in there for a strike.
We haven't said that a ton. Strike 1?
Well, it's not very often.
No, and I think with Grubbs in the game, if you can somehow wiggle out of this thing, keep it at if you're a Texas fan, hopefully 4, but maybe even 5. I mean, Florida is in kind of a bullpen situation today. Oh boy.
And this ball down into left field, and this is going to score a couple. And just like that, it is 6-0 Florida with a 6 spot here in the first.
Man, we talk about it all the time in this league. It's not who you play, it's when you play them. And this Florida team right now, you can throw their record in the trash can, because this is playing like one of the best offenses, especially in America. Nadeau lets this ball travel and smashes it in the backside gap. Really good job of controlling his barrel angle there on a pitch up in the zone. And Florida is a scary bunch right now.
Back to the top of the order, the 10th batter of the inning, walked and scored with a stolen base his first time up. Break the ball in there for a strike. 10th batter of the frame here in the top of the first. On what is not an offensive night in this ballpark with the wind blowing in.
Oh boy.
They got him picked up, but he stole third anyway.
Well, I tell you what, when it's going your way, it's going your way. Ashton Wilson, who's been running the bases at a very high level, gets caught in his shuffles, and they go spin pick, but he gets such a great jump that by the time the ball arrives at third base, he's safe easily. Ashton Wilson now 12 for 13 with stolen bases on the season. Something the Gators have done way more this year than in years past.
Well, you got to adapt with what players that you got, and that's the second stolen base of the frame as well. Everything offensively they've tried to do has worked out perfectly.
Oh boy.
And that ball hitting. The 5th free pass issued by Texas pitching. And for the 3rd time in the ball game, I've said the bases are loaded with 1 out.
I mean, it's pretty hard to wrap your brain around it. And maybe the most talented hitter in the offense for the Florida Gators is the only one that's made an out. And here he is again, Brendan Lawson.
Lawson will step in. Gets in there for a strike. Struck out his first time up. Texas at double play depth, trying to get a ground ball. Fouled it back and off of Ryland's right hand. Catcher Galvan trying to shake that off. It's not if, Chris, when you're catching, it's when.
I was raised by a catcher. My brother was a catcher, so I've been hearing lines like that my whole life. Keith, they called me a prima donna because I played in the middle infield.
I know. The 0-2. Foul back. Well, at the college level now, middle infielder, you don't have to worry about it, but you have to be pretty tough when you and I played him. Those guys coming from first base are coming to get you.
Yeah, if you're turned up playing Scott Rowland's coming down the line, you better get it out of your hands and get off the ground.
That's exactly
quickly.
Right. Lawson 4 for 6 on the year with the bases loaded. The 11th batter of the inning. Still 1 out here in the top of the first. Tried to backdoor it. Misses. And it's 1-2.
A little inside baseball here, but Keith, you and I both know you never want to make 2 outs in an inning as a hitter.
Ever.
This is the game within the game right now here for Brendan Lawson. Like, there it is.
And both of them being punch outs.
The rest of your team has not recorded an out, and you've struck out twice in the inning. He's sitting there going, what is going on right now?
And, you know, players are hard on each other.
Yes.
So his teammates will let him know that.
Oh, you think you'll hear that later?
Oh, I do. First strikeout for Grubbs. Even steps in, singled his first time up. Downstairs for ball 1.
This is a scary dude to be facing right here. 5th in the league in conference games only. 1st in homers, 5th in ribbies. Should have had a ribby his first time up. That feels like an hour ago when Bozer didn't score on the ball that went in the 6 hole.
Pulled the string, had him out in front. What a start. Come on the road, playing excellent ball, and put a 6 spot up. And asking for more right here. Grubbs now out in front, 1-2.
Grubbs has found that cutter, hadn't he? That last couple breaking balls have had some real bite to him.
46 pitches in the inning by Texas pitchers. The 1-2. Laid off, and the count evens. We've gone from the pitcher in this inning's been so laborious that the pitcher was in the shade, and now he's in the sunlight.
We've been playing for a while.
Got him with a breaking ball and out of the inning. Not before the Gators put a 6 spot on the board. Longhorns come to bat.
Dawn, easily removing up to 100% of tough stuck-on foods.
That's impressive.
And it works so well, it even keeps your filter clean. Cascade, the #1 recommended brand. Just scrape, load, and you're done.
Any questions?
How did you become the Capital One Bank guy?
You mind? I've always been passionate about no fees or minimums on checking accounts.
How do I get your job?
Hard work, dedication.
I meant the Capital One Bank guy.
It's like Mr. Jeter said, hard work and dedication.
What's been the highlight of your career?
And that have to be
Bank guy.
Helping people keep more money in their wallet with no overdraft fees.
Aren't you in the Hall of Fame?
And didn't you live in space?
What's in your wallet?
In his first season as a head coach, Jim Schlossnagle His lineup looks like this. And, you know, the guy right off the bat that you look at is Jalen Flores. It's not the year that Jalen wanted to have, but boy, his hits have come at really opportune times.
Yeah, he's made them count. He's struggled from a batting average standpoint in league play, but 21 ribbies on the season for this team has definitely been clutch. It's an offense that isn't spectacular, but very opportunistic, and boy, do they have their hands full here coming back from down a 6 spot, especially with Coppola on the mound.
Coppola, take a look at him. Big drink of water right here. 6'8", 245-pound left-hander that's got some really scary stuff. I mean, it is explosive at times.
Yeah, he gives you some Randy Johnson vibes now. He's just getting healthy. Missed 2 months after making starts the first 3 weeks of the season. Shut down with an arm injury, just getting back healthy. 48% whiff rate on his heater. D1 average 18%. So it's a special fastball. Not necessarily the 98, 99 variety, but incredible extension and really good carry.
Well, it's 6'9". Now he's going to be releasing it from 55 feet.
So it might as well be 98.
Yeah. All of a sudden, wind blowing in. Excitement of the opening game of this 3-game set. If you're visiting, what you would like to do? Go on the road and put a 6 spot on the board.
Pretty good way to get it started.
That's a pretty good way to get it started. Wind continues to blow in from center. As warm-up pitch is finished, Texas will make their first opportunity at the plate. It is a bullpen night for Florida. Talked about maybe seeing as many as 6 pitchers out of the bullpen tonight.
Yeah, Sully has it scripted the exact way he wants it to go. Now, as he told us, you know, scripts are only as good as your pitcher's ability to execute what you'd like to happen, but he's got it mapped out the way he wants it to go with about 5 different guys seeing action. That's a good start there from the big left-hander.
Doza will step in, the sophomore, Texas native, transferred in. He's had a really good year at the top. He's been injured, having to be in the DH role, and that ball hitting. What a good start. You get a base runner. That's what you're looking for.
That's exactly what you're looking for if you're Texas, is take all the freebies you can get. Let Florida hang out on defense for a while. Certainly the Longhorns played long enough last half inning.
I tell you, this to me is one of the most amazing statistics I've looked at in a long time.
Well, we showed their offense has doubled up their production, and in line with that, their pitching has done their ERA in half. So you flipped it both ways, offensively and defensively. Look at the walks there, walking about half as many dudes as they did the first 12 games of SEC play. Those numbers you don't have to be a baseball expert to figure out that will equal more success.
Galvan will step in. Junior from Sinton, Texas. He's had a fantastic junior campaign. Side corner, it's quickly. No balls and 2 strikes. One of the biggest things for Galvan, Berkey, that jumps off the page for me is his walks. He's just done a better job. He was really struggling with strikeouts and walks as a younger player, but here as a veteran player, he's done a much better job of understanding the zone.
One of Jim Schlossenagel's greatest attributes as a coach is helping players understand pitch recognition, hunting their pitch, shrinking the zone. He's done it everywhere he's been. His teams always walk.
Just reached back, let that one go at 93 and threw it by him. That was that swing weight you were talking about.
Yeah, there's that swing and miss heater right there. That fastball just above the belly button. You just can't hardly get to the back of it. That thing is just coming. And Galvan, who can swing and miss, especially at the top of the zone. That pitch does not match up with his barrel path.
Jalen Flores steps in. Junior from San Antonio, Longhorn shortstop. Boy, how free and easy does it make you know that your team goes out and gets you 6 in the top of the first.
Shove it in there, right?
And you're a fastball pitcher.
Yeah.
With a 48% swing and miss rate.
And the wind blowing in a big ballpark. You can't draw it up any better than that.
Fastball just misses.
You think that was for show or real? Had to be real at
I would
0-1,
think,
didn't it?
Yeah, I would think he was thinking about getting a base, becoming a base runner. See his numbers. He's driven in 50. Inside corner. You're not going to do much with that.
No, and I don't blame Flores for being upset about that one. The first one in this at bat was a little low. That one was a little in.
Upstairs.
Well, you know, Scott Latendre's opinion is the only one that matters here.
Yes.
Home plate umpire.
7,000 other ones
that's
up
right.
there don't matter.
No, and nor does Jalen Flores. Only one. One of the hardest truths you have to learn as a player, is it not?
I don't know. It took me forever to figure it out.
Oof.
Foul tip. Held on. Back-to-back Ks for the big lefty.
And again, you're just going to see this time and time again. He's going to shove that heater right into the zone, and he's way down the slope by the time he lets go of that baseball. That thing gets there in a hurry. The radar gun will lie to you a little bit with Coppola. Again, it's 93, 94. Certainly not a soft tosser by any means, but it plays more like 96 to 98.
Kimball Schuessler steps in. Well, folks, one of the things that we as hitters all talk about is you measure velocity. Yes, the radar gun, but where's the ball at? Is it 6 inches further up, closer? Is it 6 inches less than the other? With his extension, that plays up
More
at
like
least
a foot.
4 or 5
Yeah.
miles an
Yeah,
hour.
no doubt.
One and one to Schuessler, who's really done a nice job against left-handed pitching all season long, coming in hitting .362. Pitch misses outside.
This is one of those guys too, Keith. We both faced a lot of these guys. He doesn't give you much to think about. You know, some pitchers are tough because of their stuff. Some pitchers are tough because of the cat and mouse game. Some guys are tough because their stuff is just so special you can't hardly square it up.
This ball squared up into left field. Mendoza has to hold up right there. Kimball Schuessler continues to hit left-handed pitching very well this season.
That ball was hammered. Again, you don't have a ton to think about with Coppola. Get ready for number one and get the barrel out in front. Fastball about thigh high is just rocketed
Well, that came
into
off
the
the
left
bat
side.
110 miles
There
an
you
hour.
go. That it sounded like it.
Actually, it was 112 miles an hour.
Okay. Even better. A loud single.
It sure was. Adrian Rodriguez, the freshman from Flower Mound, Texas, steps in. Switch hitter, but with the injury to his hammock bone, inflammation there, he's been exclusively a left-handed hitter for most of the second half of the season.
Yeah, and learning to hit lefties left on left is not a friendly thing to do against some of these Southeastern Conference left-handers.
I like this timeout. And the reason I do as an ex-catcher is, hey, look, we got a 6-run lead, so they got caught up to your fastball. We're still going to use the fastball. Let's go get them, get on top, and attack.
And especially left on left here, like this is such an uncomfortable at bat for Rodriguez that if Coppola could just land a breaking ball, just spin one of them in there and get him off your heater, you can still put him away with number one, but you got to at least give some of these kids a little different look with a breaking ball at some point.
A-Rod, as he's called by his teammates, hitting .225 against left-handed pitching. As he steps back in. Fastball outside corner and evens the count. How do you take a crowd out of a ball game? The 6th spot at the top of the 1st. This ball, what a play! Can't come up to get an out, but saves a run. Lawson, really nice job right there to knock that ball down.
Yeah, you said it. A backside bullet left on left is, no matter how locked in you are, those balls can catch you off guard at third base. Lawson able to get low enough to knock that ball down. Wasn't able to glove it, but keeps it in place. Still a 0 on the scoreboard. Sully's going to go have a chat.
You know, little things in a ball game. Chris, as a player, I remember, you know, just going to the right base, making sure that you don't allow a run to score and give your pitcher a chance to get out of it. Those little bitty things add up in a ball game. And that may be a very big play in this game, because Texas were to come back here and throw a 3-spot up, all of a sudden we got a ball game.
No, yeah, that's a play that has a chance to keep the 0 on the board, but it's also a play that he wasn't able to quite finish and get him off the field. So this becomes a pretty big at bat here. We've had some big ones already here in the first, but Gasparino, the inning stays alive for him here.
13 big flies on the year. He's driven in 47. First pitch outside corner. That was strike one.
That was the first hit of the season by a lefty versus Capola.
Wow.
Pretty good for Rodriguez. Again, just learning how to have left on left at bats.
Fastball misses. Count evens. Los Angeles, California native, sophomore. Step back in. Foul back.
And that's what you get sometimes. Sometimes when you're so ready for the fastball, you'll expand a little bit. That ball's a little down, maybe a touch out too. And Gasparino knows it. Difference between 2-1 and 1-2, but it's kind of the price of doing business when you're facing a special fastball. You got to get it started a little sooner.
The 1-2 popped up. Going to be a difficult play. Win.
Down.
Breakable comes up with a strikeout.
But then they got right against Missouri. They went and won a road series at Mississippi State. Beat Arkansas. Now the flip of that. So when they got swept by Vandy in their own building, I thought this is a problem. But then when they beat Arkansas 2 out of 3, I thought, oh, okay. Now they're really in position to make a big time run, and sure enough, swept South Carolina, and here they are.
And when they've needed, the other thing, Berkey, when they've needed to win it with pitching, they've done it that way. And if they needed to win it swinging the bat, they've done it that way.
They've done it that way plenty. Yeah, I mean, again, the way that they were able to withstand Arkansas and beat them 2 out of 3 was when you really thought, okay, Sully has now figured out exactly the roles with the pitching staff. The offense had clearly found their momentum, and then they just went to South Carolina and blew the doors off the Gamecocks.
Right side, winds get a hold of it. Push this back out of play.
And now you look at them and you go, well, wait a second. They're 11-13. If they somehow figure out a way to go 5-1 or 4-2 down the stretch, and they're playing, you know, obviously here at Texas on the road and home for Bama, 2 top RPI type of clubs, like, you got a chance to host a regional after being 1-11.
I think they've got to be in play if that happens.
Now you got to play those games still. There's a lot of baseball still to be determined.
Good breakable. That is 4 in a row by Grubbs. So he has come on and done his job. It's a 4th strikeout in a row.
Yeah, gave up the hit to Nato, and then the HBP, but then 4 straight punch outs, and this is what they were hoping. Come in, settle this offense down, and my guess is probably hand the ball off to somebody here soon, don't you think, Keith?
I would think you would have used him the rest of the weekend at some point. You were trying to get the river blocked.
Yes.
Because the dam was open.
Or
All right, now
You're
if
going to
you
give him length and let him hang in there, see if he can go 4 or 5 innings. Maybe your offense can throw a punch.
Yeah, now if you come back and answer with a few, feel
Yeah.
like you've got your going in your direction, but that's one of those guys. They've got that job. I get to talk about
That's
it.
right.
They've got that job.
We just get to second guess them. But yeah, at some point you ask yourself, what's the value to hold this offense down and give our offense a chance, or do we want to hold on to one of our best bullpen arms for sometime later down the road?
The 1-2. All he does is come in and strike out the side in his 5th consecutive strikeout. 6-0 Florida. We go to the bottom of the second.
We're looking for adults 45 and under to be in our HPV vaccination ad. Sound like you?
Not me. In a relationship.
If you're sexually active and unvaccinated, it could still be you.
I'm too old.
If you're under 45, you're not. For most people, HPV clears on its own, but for those who don't clear the virus, it can cause certain cancers.
Wow.
Gardasil 9 doesn't protect everyone and doesn't treat cancer or HPV infection. These diseases may have many causes.
Your doctor may recommend screening for certain HPV-related cancers. Routine cervical cancer screenings are still needed. You shouldn't get Gardasil 9 if you're allergic to the vaccine, its ingredients, or yeast. Tell your doctor if you have a weakened immune system, are pregnant, or plan to be.
The most common side effects include injection site reactions, headache, fever, nausea, dizziness, tiredness, diarrhea, abdominal pain, and sore throat. Fainting can also happen.
Help protect yourself against certain HPV-related cancers. Talk to a doctor or pharmacist today.
Told you he's got that dog in him. I am not filling in for Lex Luthor. Stop asking me that.
Jason, you saved the day, but why would Superman need a day off?
I think he just wanted to watch the playoffs.
Let's take a look at the Longhorns, their season recap. Best start since 2004, where they lost in the championship series in Omaha. And their last home series, one of the big ones, they had 3 consecutive wins against a very hot Texas A&M team coming into that series. And then last week went on the road and for the first time this season lost the series. And not only lost the series, they got swept.
Yeah, and the first 2 games weren't very competitive. So certainly had a chance to win game 3. But really the first time they've, besides the injuries, but from a standpoint of losing a weekend, first time they've faced adversity all season long.
It's in there for a strike to Borba, Longhorn third baseman, sophomore, Santa Ana, California. Breaking ball in there for a strike. I think that's the first breaking ball we've seen for a strike.
Yes. Which again, you knew at some point he was going to have to flip one in there.
Borba has really struggled, Chris, this season against left-handed pitching. Coming in, hitting 130 on the year. Reverse splits like that sometimes are just hard to explain.
Yeah, I don't know how you felt, Keith. I didn't like facing lefties more until pro ball, just because I had fewer at-bats against them as a younger player.
Well, the breaking ball is a swing and a miss and a good one. Anytime that I didn't have to see a slider going away from me, I was pretty happy.
Yes. Yes, and I hear you there. I do think it's interesting how we tend to put the kind of big league expectations on college players.
We do.
And the truth is, some of them, just because they've had so many more at-bats right on right, still feel more comfortable that way. Now, you're right. When you start facing a big boy slider, it's different.
Two left-handers your whole high school season.
That are any
now, you
good.
get into college, you're going to see some left.
Start to see more. That's right.
It's Tommy Farmer, the fourth, will step in. Right fielder fouls this ball back. It's been a good second half of the season for Farmer. Look at his numbers and go, well, it's 259, but well over 300 in the last 25 or 30 ball games.
Ooh.
all of a sudden that
It's a
bender
real
is
breaking
working.
ball. And again, you know, the strikeout rate's insane, about 2 an inning, and it's because you have to cheat to the heater. So if he can make that pitch attractive to a hitter, he's going to get a bunch of swings and misses. The whiff rate on it's 70%. Wow. Now, he doesn't throw it a ton.
Comes back to it there on his 30th pitch of the ball game. Count evens at 2-2. Fastball misses up and away.
Nastiest lefty you ever faced?
Randy Johnson.
Okay, yeah, that qualifies.
This ball hit pretty well, but into the teeth of the traffic. Holds up for the second out of the inning. Here's our next NWSL match as the Chicago Stars host the Washington Spirit tomorrow. Coverage begins 12:30 Eastern, 11:30 Central. NWSL, excuse me, as Noah Williams will step in. This is a unique story, folks. He should be a high school spring and is playing baseball in high school this season. Oh, that ball hitting. Early enrollee.
Yeah, should
5-star safety.
Should be graduating, going to prom. Instead, he's playing SEC baseball and going to play SEC football this fall, like a young Keith Moreland once upon a time. Well, he looks like he could fill the alley and make a tackle. What do you think?
He's got a lot. He's got a lot going for him on the football side, and I'm telling you, he's really adapted well. As a 17, 18-year-old guy that should be playing high school baseball, he really has adapted well, and you start to see him get more and more comfortable at the plate.
They rave about his work ethic, his care factor. Now, they weren't sure he was even going to be able to stick with them at first. They called up Sark and said, "Hey, Sark, like, sure you don't need this kid for spring practice?" Like, no, I promised him he could play baseball. He's yours. And Tulo was just talking about how every week he's gotten so much better, to the point where about a month ago they looked at themselves and said, we got to get this kid in the lineup.
Which in there for a strike, and it's 0-2.
You told me you're nastiest lefty. Do I get a turn?
Yeah, who's yours?
I'm going to say Johan Santana.
Ooh.
But Dontrell Willis was maybe the most uncomfortable one. That one was funky.
And folks out there, you hear hitters talk about it, big league hitters talking about it. Uncomfortable is the fact is you don't know if he's going to hit you in the brain or throw you one on the outside corner that's a perfect pitch.
And you got a decision to make. Like, if I'm going to make a living at this, I can't think about the one that might hit me in the ear hole. I've got to actually dig in here and try to put an at-bat together.
There goes the runner. Ball chopped foul, even down 6-0. That's what Williams brings to the table with his speed.
Santana made me throw my bat to the backstop one time. I swung and missed his changeup so bad. I thought I was going to dislocate my elbow. I swung and missed so much. I mean, that changeup was Mickey Mouse, Bugs Bunny. Like, you know,
there was a parachute on it halfway to the plate.
Yes, and it just disintegrated in midair. I never seen anything like it.
Mendoza steps back in, 1-2.
Good take.
Tough take.
You remember your hit off Randy? You got one.
Broken back. He just jammed me.
He just muscled
it into center.
Okay. Looked like a liner in the scorebook.
Next day. The right field line. Steve Carlton is another one. I got the opportunity to catch him and then face him. And he was really good.
That was one of those high ride heaters too, right?
But that slider was just.
So both.
It's just
arm side life and then back foot slider.
Back foot slider.
Oh, thank you.
2-2 to Mendoza. foul.
I'm gonna give you one more. Cole Hammers.
Yeah.
Now, it was not uncomfortable. Super polished, tons of strikes. But as far as just like if you were rating his pitches, fastball life, changeup, breaking ball, like he was as talented of a left-handed pitcher as the game had there for about a decade, really.
He was fun to watch, too. Almost hits him inside, and it's a full count. Williams will be off with the pitch here. When you see right-handed hitters average against Hamels, I remember looking that up, just studying it one time. Get to it after this 3-2 pitch. There goes the runner. This ball's popped up in the infield, playable. Put away, and that ends the inning. We'll visit with head coach Jim Slosnick.
Best pitching staff in this conference for really until they, gave up some crooked numbers last weekend by miles. They were a run better than anybody else. And when your offense isn't explosive, that's not part of your formula. This isn't a team that's built to withstand a bunch of free passes and playing from 6 down.
And they go to the bullpen here. It is Saunier. Jason Saunier comes into the game. Transfer from Ole Miss. Yost, 2-run single his first time up. Breaking ball. Going to swing at it. Swing and miss. Shift goes into place. But you can see the junior from Memphis, Tennessee. His numbers on the year. He's done a nice job in 12 innings of work. Just missed. And it's 1-2. Sometimes a job as a reliever, Chris, is maybe one of the toughest things there is, the 1-2. You don't know when you're going to be in the game, whether it's going to be a deficit, a lead. You just got to come in, and the first thing you got to think about is get outs. And those guys that can come in and have that mindset, I'm just going to take one out at a time and get an out and go to the next guy. And this type of ball game, it's what you got to have.
Yeah, you can.
This ball hit well with some carry. Farmer for the second time hits the wall. The ball comes out of his glove. Didn't secure it, and it's going to be a leadoff double.
Boy, that is the second time that ball, Tommy Farmer's done all the hard part. But Yost stays hot. This ball smoked to right field. Tommy Farmer gets there. And
the ruling on the field is a catch.
This time the wall
Texas
did knock
is challenging
it out.
ruling.
Now,
the previous play is under review.
What we got here, Keith? Catch, and the wall knocks it out. So it's not on the transfer, right? So that
correction. They're challenging the ruling of no catch.
Now watch the base running here, Keith. Why would you be turned around looking at the ball here? Why wouldn't you be finding your third base coach?
No.
Now, he could have been standing on third base. He's staring at the ball. That's twice now that Florida has not looked at their third base coach and cost themselves a base.
Yeah, and going back to the catch that's being reviewed, as Texas is challenging the play, I'm just like you. There was no attempt to transfer the ball from the glove to the hand.
So it's no catch, right? You got to survive the wall there, don't you?
I think you got to have it longer than a step and a half. Taking a look at this. And how about the two plays Farmer's had? He's had the ball in his glove both times and hadn't been able to secure it.
Yeah, I mean, again, fantastic routes, the athleticism and the fearlessness to get to the ball, running full speed in the wall, and just you feel for the kid because he hasn't been able to finish off either one of them.
After review, no catch. Texas has run challenge remaining.
Take a look at it again here.
I mean, clearly he's still in the act of finishing that catch as he hits the wall and not able to finish it off. Yeah, I agree.
As Wilson will step in. He walked his first time up. So the leadoff double. Squares to bunt, bunted out in front of the plate. Schuessler has to go to first base, does get the out. Nice job of giving yourself up, advancing the runner 90 feet.
Fantastic job there by Ashton Wilson, who is the hero, one of them certainly, for Florida's fantastic stretch run last year where they made it to the Final Four of the College World Series after only finishing the regular season one game over 500. But he was one of the stars down the stretch for them, and now back at it again this year playing some great baseball.
Infield drawn up for Texas. Who steps in 1-for-1. Single. This is on the ground. This is a fair ball. Down into the corner. Run scores. On his way to second with an RBI double. 7-0 Florida.
Well, you know, Keith, it's just like this ball is not hammered, but it's right down the first base line. We saw a couple balls in the first inning that were, you know, perfect. Look at it. This ball, Schuessler with a fantastic job into his prep step, great crossover, and does all that he can. This ball is literally right over the base. And we've seen two balls come out of the right fielder's glove. Like, it's just crazy how, you know, it just feels like the momentum right now is all in the Gators. All these 50-50 plays are going their way.
This pitch in there for a strike. Florida's come out aggressive too. They have swung at 5 of the first 19 first pitches. It's not like they've been taking a ton of pitches.
Now they definitely received some help via the free pass, but they have been very aggressive in the zone.
Swinging at strikes. Third inning, third at bat for the top of the order here. The ball misses outside. Take a big crowd out of the game, and that's exactly what they've done as well. I mean, it's very quiet in this building.
Eerily quiet. 6 in the first will do that to the home folks.
Bullpen working. We thought we would probably see guys no more than 6 outs apiece. Bullpen is up and going. Still all kinds of things on the field down the right field line. On the ground, the third, Borba across the diamond in the second out of the inning.
That's what Saulnier's trying to do, run that sinker in there. And again, the good sinker to, maybe it was a cutter to Nato, who's able to sneak it down the first baseline. But ground balls is his recipe for success. He likes to throw that ball down the zone.
Got a little change. He gets guys out on their front foot and roll over it.
See him pre-grip that split. Max Wiener likes teaching split. He's a big fan of putting that in the arsenal of a lot of his guys.
This ball fouled off left side. Well, you and I both were hitters. When that arm speed is up and beat against.
A couple different types of splits too. You know, some of them are like Roger Clemens, where it's just a nasty two-seamer that had tons of sink to it, and then some are almost flutter like knuckleballs. Some split fingers have that, almost that hard knuckleball action to them. Remember Florida Gator a couple years ago. Oh gosh, now I'm going to draw a blank on him. Got drafted by the Braves in the first round. Transfer from Southern Miss. I'm drawing a blank. I'll find it. But led the country led the conference in strikeouts behind Skeens that year with just a devastating split.
It's a good pitch. Lawson, 349 with 2 outs on the year. How about Chris Burke in college? 381 with 2 outs. How about
where are you pulling these numbers up?
I know, that's our statistician Kirk Kuhlman. He's doing it. He's getting it done over here.
Keep them coming, Kirk. Keep them coming.
The 1-2. Off of the fist. Rodriguez having to hurry. Can he get an out? Yes.
That we know is just really tough to deal with.
Yeah, and he found it in that second inning. He found that breaking ball where the first inning he was using his fastball. They go to the bullpen again, and Billy Barlow is a junior. North Myrtle Beach, South Carolina, comes into the game.
Yeah, Barlow, a Clemson transfer, sinker, slider, changeup. See, he's given up a whole bunch of hits this year, 46 hits and 37 2/3, but probably perfectly suited for this ballpark where it's a slower infield and certainly plays big to the outfield. But he's going to throw a bunch of strikes and really try to keep the ball on the ground.
You know, you get to this time of the year, we're in May, but you see those guys with 19, 20, 21, 22 appearances. You know they've been involved in a lot of ball games and doing a lot of coming in and trying to get 6, 5, maybe even 4 outs.
Yeah, Barlow is he can do a little bit of everything for a team. He's started for them. He can certainly give them some length. I think, again, we talked about Sully's script. I think on the script, Barlow's hopefully going to give them two tonight, and so he gets the ball here in the third, trying to keep this game all Gators.
Well, it has been that way the entire time. 7-0. Second time through the order. Galvan fouls that ball off. And that's right off the mask. That's like taking a punch.
What does that feel like?
It's
That rattle it?
Yeah, it'll rattle you. You know. It's
jarring.
Yeah, it just catches you so much by surprise that, you know, it's padded, but you feel it all over in your chin. Okay. Sometimes the worst ones are when it's right in the middle of the mask and the bottom of the chin's where.
Now, what about that opposed to filling a hole and tackling a running back coming through there at full speed? Which one's more jarring?
The running back is according to who that running back is. and if he's in space where, you know, you're really broken down and he's delivering the blow, that's not fun.
It's not fun either.
No.
So which one would you rather have?
I'd rather get hit in the mask with a face mask.
Okay. Good to know.
2-2 to Galvan. Fastball, couldn't catch up to it. Comes up with the strikeout.
This is where the Gators are going to try to go against Galvan. Climb the ladder with that fastball, even though Barlow traditionally will work the ball down the zone. Nice job there of elevating that fastball, and Galvan goes down swinging for the second time tonight.
Fourth strikeout of the night for Gator pitching as Flores will step in. Fastball misses outside. The ability to throw the 4-seamer and the 2-seamer. Folks, as hitters, spin rate gets you, but then all of a sudden they turn it and sink it. You think it's going to have the spin rate. And those are the toughest ones to designate which pitch is which. For me, it was.
Yeah, if somebody can climb the ladder and sink it on you, then you got problems.
Wants a new baseball as that pitch misses outside. 2-1 to Flores. Three and one now. Barlow set. His 10th pitch of the frame. Flied out to right with some carry, but it'll stay in the yard. For the second out of the inning. Texas just has not been able to put anything together offensively. And they had a chance when they had him loaded in the bottom of the first.
Yeah, no, they did. Gasparino had a chance there to really get him right back in it if he was able to come up with a big swing of the bat, but Coppola got off the field, and you know, this is that part of the game where for Texas you still have plenty of game left. You got to string a few innings together where you can chip away at it so you can give yourself a chance in the 8th and 9th. What you don't want, trying to win the series, is for the Gators to be able to pull away to the point where they don't have to use Clemente, right? Because he has been the difference maker from a bullpen standpoint during this Gator hot streak.
In this conference, if you can win a game without using your closer, it is a gigantic step.
Yep. Now we know Texas's formula all year long has been get the ball to Grubbs and Volantis.
Good break the ball, dropped in there for a strike. Yeah, both of them have been outstanding, especially 7, 8, 9. And that's when you need to throw zeros on the board. 1 and 2 to Schussler. Outside. Long look in. The 2-2. Foul back. Get into this time of the year, we all look at the RPI. We're always studying, trying to see what's going on. You and I talking earlier today, it's just like it is each and every year. There's at least 8, if not 9, SEC schools with a great opportunity to host a regional.
Oh, there's 10 in the top 18 of the RPI. Florida's 18th. So if you're, again, typically in a power conference to host, you have to have an RPI inside that top 16. Well, you've got 10 with 6 conference games left that are in striking distance of being hosts. Now, how many will they get?
Oh, that's true. But
probably 6 or 7 would be my guess, which makes Hoover, I think, pretty interesting because you look, the top 4 are slam dunks. The next 3, they have all in, right? So right now, D1 has 7 of the 16 being SEC hosts, but Oklahoma, Alabama, Florida, and Ole Miss are still in striking distance. And I say Florida, I know it sounds crazy, but we talked about it. And off to a good start here in game 1. It's not off the table.
Well, no, because what they have left on their schedule is going to be a bump.
A big bump.
A big bump.
Yes.
In their RPI already, especially if they were to win those games.
If they go 4-2, 5-1, then I think there's a legitimate conversation headed to Hoover of where they fall in that pecking order. Now, I do think it'll be interesting to see from a committee standpoint where they draw the line. Now, they like to say that teams or conferences don't get hosts, teams do, but would they draw the line at 7? Would they let one conference get half the hosts? I don't know that they would.
Which misses inside, and it's 2-1 to Rodriguez. Singled his first time up. But just look at, for Florida, after those struggles at the beginning of the season, they really turned it around, and then it's just what they've been doing. I mean, they got the number 6 strength of schedule, and 18th in the RPI. I mean, there's only one thing that jumps off that page that's not great is they're 9-15 against Quad 1. But there's a lot of teams with a big RPI that have a losing record against Quad 1 teams.
Well, and look how many games they've played. I mean, that's why their strength of schedule is 6. They played 24, and there's not a ton of teams that have 9 Quad 1 wins. Now, 15 losses is a big number, but you also have your last 6 games are against Quad 1 teams. So there's an opportunity to make that win-loss record look a little bit better if you can finish with a bang.
Big swing and fouls it back.
There's also a piece where you wonder if the committee looks at it. Again, we're being hypothetical here, but if you're won 10 of your last 12, hypothetically, if they win 4 of their last 6, and you're like, okay, we went 14-4. Was that 14-4? Did I do that right? 14-4 down the stretch. Like, that's pretty loud against the teams on their schedule.
Fastball just misses the inside corner, and the count goes full. Schuster will be off with the pitch. ball hit well out to left. Diving, this ball gets away. One run is going to score. Rodriguez on his way to third with a sliding triple. 7-1 ball game.
Well, Rodriguez has certainly done his part. You said it, Keith. You think when it's all said and done, Rodriguez got a chance to be one of the star freshmen from this league. Still a lot of development left in this young man, but a rocket hit to the backside. Blake Sear decides to leave his feet, which is always risky business when you're a corner outfielder. That ball about 6 inches out of his reach. And there you go, Longhorns fans. There you got something to cheer about. Chip away a little bit here, now 7-1.
Came off the bat at 102 miles an hour. The opposite way. A 7-1 ball game. For the first time we hear the home crowd tonight. Gasparino comes to the plate. Popped up with the bases loaded his first time up. Rodriguez at third. As Gasparino steps in. Tried to check his swing. And excuse me out, ends the inning. And a third of the game in.
Yeah, I definitely think so. I think that anytime you go through struggles and you've got to work your way through them, certainly that experience, not only for the players, but for myself and the coaches, you know, you got to have belief. And, you know, we never steered away from that.
Thanks for taking the time. We'll get you back to work.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks, Sully. You know, you're talking about a team that had to go on the road and win 2 out of 3 at Georgia last year just to stay above 500. Because you have to be above 500 to be eligible for the tournament. Then they went to Stillwater. Then they went to Clemson. Then they were in the Final Four. And so, you know, as great as this program has been, for whatever reason, the last 2 seasons have had as much adversity as Sully's had his entire tenure down there. And yet, you can't quite knock them out. Like, you just can't get rid of this club.
Well, that says a whole lot about a staff. This ball ripped, and it's a fair ball. Down into the corner. And Evans on his way to second base. But his second double of the night. And just staying on the Gators. You look at it, that's just an incredible statistic.
Yeah, I mean, no team ever, no SEC team has ever reached the NCAA tournament starting 10 or worse in conference, 2 and 10 or worse, and they were 1-11. And it says right there they're projected a 3 seed, and that could definitely change. But either way, just the fact that they're projected to be in at this point has literally never been done before.
Chopped on the ground, right side, but foul.
And of course, this is a Texas bunch that was 19-2, which that marked the best stretch in the history of the SEC. So we got 2 teams here that have, you know, Florida's not quite in yet, but it certainly looks pretty good. But you got both these teams have had kind of their piece of history this season.
Sear steps back in. Sonier's 0-1 delivery. No, goes back to second base first. Chris, I mean, today we were just talking about this is a turnaround that not only have they turned it around, in my opinion, that they're definitely in. I think they've turned it around and put themselves in position if they finish these last 6 regular season games and then into the postseason tournament, they can work their way into hosting.
Yeah. Let me ask you something, as somebody that's been calling Big 12 games forever. Can you think of any time in the Big 12 where a team was that down and out and made a run like you've seen from this Florida team? I mean,
not really. Now I've seen
usually if a team was
Josh Holliday's club a few years ago at Oklahoma State was, with 6 to go, was maybe 2 games under 500, and you know, projected their overall schedule was not that good, but they found a way to get into it, and they took Arkansas, one of the great regionals of all time.
Yes.
And found a way to get there. You won the Big 12 tournament, you know, put themselves in a position to compete to go to Omaha.
Typically, the teams that start 1-11 end up as doormats. I mean, that's typically the way it goes.
Because you look up and say, what does it matter now?
Right. I mean, yeah, it's just hard to keep. It's hard to keep guys pulling on the same side of the rope when things are that broken. And so you have to get. I bring that up because it had never happened before in the SEC, and it really is a remarkable coaching job from Kevin O'Sullivan. The fact that all the injuries, you lose the superstar players, and yet here they are.
And it's not like there's a window that you're going to get these guys back. They're pretty much.
Yeah, Shelton should be back. The shortstop, Colby Shelton, should be back. But other than that, everybody that's out, they're not coming back. Kay Curlin's down there in a shoulder brace.
Yeah. They're here. I love them being here.
Yeah.
And helping their team, doing everything they can to help out.
There's Colby Shelton right there, one of the best players in the Southeastern Conference. Came back for his junior year to play in the stretch run and play in games like this. So you feel for the kid who broke his hamate bone. But hopefully they'll get him back maybe for a regional. And there's Kay Curlin right there. I mean, that could be an all-SEC type of middle infield if they're both healthy all year. And they don't have either one of them.
So there's 1-2, misses outside. Wind continues to blow dead straight in. 7 runs on 7 hits. We haven't had anything leave the ballpark. This ball, pull foul. That ball was 6 or 7 inches inside. He was able to get the barrel to it.
Almost kept it fair. It was actually a nice job. This is something that's funny. I have a couple of young kids. Well, I got a bunch of young kids at home, but two boys that are starting to play bigger boy baseball and seeing breaking balls. The ability to hang in there on that front door breaking ball, a lot of guys that buckles them and they take it. But with 2 strikes, you can't let that pitch be determined by the umpire. You got to at least try to foul it off.
And he hits him with a breaking ball there as he got underneath it. Good runners now at first and third. Well, if you've got a way to teach your 2 young hitters how to hit a backup slider, let me know. Because there's nobody can do that.
No, nobody can do that. You can pop it up to the moon, but you ain't going to hit it. But that front door breaking ball, if you can hang in there, you can hit that one in the bullpen. You can rip it down third base line. There's a lot of good stuff that can happen from that.
Get your hands in there, you can keep it fair.
Yes. But what you can't do is bail on it and then take a backwards K on your way back to the dugout. That's not going to work. That's when Dad gets grumpy.
Yost steps in. He's had a good ball game. 2 for 2 in this one. Another RBI situation here. Singled and scored and doubled and scored. He's been hot. 500 in his last 18 plate appearances. This ball into center. It's down for a base hit. Runner was in motion.
Stay hot, young
Stay
fella.
hot.
Goodness gracious. The reigning SEC Player of the Week, just 3 for 3 through 4 innings. Michael Burns having a chuckle. It's all laughs right now. And just a line drive machine right now. We talked about it. When you're hot, you just show up. There's people on base all the time.
Yeah.
Is it not? Pitchers make mistakes. It's just, it's real. When the game's going your way, it can be a whole lot of fun.
That is his 3rd ribby of the night. As Wilson steps in, runners at first and third. 8-1 ball game now. First pitch misses for ball 1. Wilson has sacrificed and walked. Does not have an official plate appearance tonight. Tough play. Borba charges, crosses body in time to get the out and in the inning. Florida crosses another one. They lead 8-1.
We're looking for adults 45 and under to be in our HPV vaccination ad. Sound like you?
Not me. In a relationship.
If you're sexually active and unvaccinated, it could still be you.
I'm too old.
If you're under 45, you're not. For most people, HPV clears on its own, but for those who don't clear the virus, it can cause certain cancers.
Wow.
Gardasil 9 doesn't protect everyone and doesn't treat cancer or HPV infection. These diseases may have many causes.
Your doctor may recommend screening for certain HPV-related cancers. Routine cervical cancer screenings are still needed. You shouldn't get Gardasil 9 if you're allergic to the vaccine, its ingredients, or yeast. Tell your doctor if you have a weakened immune system, are pregnant, or plan to be.
The most common side effects include injection site reactions, headache, fever, nausea, dizziness, tiredness, diarrhea, abdominal pain, and sore throat. Fainting can also happen.
Help protect yourself against certain HPV-related cancers. Talk to a doctor or pharmacist today.
It's incredible the story that's unfolding. Oh my goodness, what a story!
More college baseball coming up on the SEC Network this weekend. Number 7 Arkansas travels to Baton Rouge to face number 3 LSU. We will have 2 games for you. Saturday at 6:30, 5:30 Central Time, and Sunday 4 o'clock Eastern, 3 o'clock Central. Again, both games on the SEC, and they are in a rain delay, as you can see right there. So,
boo.
No baseball. May not have baseball there tonight. Of course, they played a game last week. I believe it started at 11 o'clock at night.
Yeah, they're not afraid to start late down the bayou.
As Borba will step in.
That's going to be a good one. I mean, you talk about two teams that can win the whole thing.
Yeah, absolutely could.
The fans, I'm sure, are ticked. It's been a weird weather year. We've had a lot of
more delays and cancellations and double hitters in the league. This ball, humpback liner right into the shift for the out. This is the top 6 teams, and I tell you what, that one right there at the bottom, playing really good baseball right now.
And they're about to go to 16-11 as they're about to wrap up a sweep of South Carolina. Tennessee got a 1-run victory today against Vanderbilt. Liam Doyle, 12 strikeouts, no walks.
That'll get it done.
I think that's probably your SEC pitcher of the year.
I agree.
Even though Kate Anderson, Kyson Weatherspoon, your boy Dylan Volantis all certainly deserve some consideration. I think Liam Doyle's probably the guy.
I think so. I don't have a vote in that, but if I did, that would be where I would start. As Farmer steps in. Down 0-2. Did he check his swing? He did not. Strikeout, the second for the Gator right-hander.
Billy Barlow just continued. That bat went past the point of no return.
Jonah Williams will step in. 2 outs, nobody on here. 30th pitch for the Florida right-handers downstairs for ball 1. I love that discussion we had a little bit earlier about some of the young freshman hitters in this league too.
Yeah, there's some talented ones. There's no doubt about it. And we saw Brody Johnston hit a home run tonight for Vanderbilt. I think his 11th on the season. Lawson, we talked about Curiel. Chris Rembert for Auburn's really had a nice year. Fewer opportunities than the past because of the transfer portal. Freshmen are getting fewer chances to play early, but the ones that do, you better believe they're going to be really good.
Yeah.
We've seen some of that intensity here from Jonah Williams. Let's see what he does here in the 3-1 count. You know Barlow's going to challenge him with a heater.
The 3-1. That may have something to do with the score.
Yeah, maybe not. You think maybe the take was on the point?
So,
or maybe they're not even Texas people at all. They're just throwing up the horns because, you know, when in Rome.
Well, yeah, that's exactly. I mean,
you never know.
7,000 people dressed in orange. Might not get out of here.
That's right. Throw the horns up.
The 0-1 on the ground to the right. Rodriguez across his body and gets the out. That's the way the 5th starts for the Gators.
Well, that's put a star in the book on that one. They haven't gotten the bottom half of this order out much. I mean, the bottom half of this Florida batting order has done some serious damage in this ball game. So to get Nato out, that's his first out of the ball game, is a small victory right there.
Back to the top of the order. First pitch misses outside. 0 for 1. Walked and scored, stole a base, and a really good delay steal. Was hit by a pitch. It's grounded to third. Back and the count evens. 3-day weekends, college baseball. Folks, if you're just tuning in the first time to really know how it works, you want to save your bullpen. So usually you got a guy, and this looks like for Texas is Sonye, is that guy, you got to give us some length. You got to get us to the 6th at least. Keep us in the game and get us to the 6th.
Yeah, and he's done plenty of starting in his career. Did it at Ole Miss. And as you said, just kind of getting his number called in this one to try to help this club at least keep them in the ball game and then save the rest of the guys down there for what they hope to be 2 very different ball games here the next 2 nights.
1-2. This is outside. Major League Baseball people play, 6 days most weeks, sometimes 7 days a week.
Yeah.
So, you're used to your bullpen. Guys know that they got 35 pitches. More than likely, they got the next day off. But this ball hits sharply on the ground. Flores has it across the diamond. But in a 3-day weekend, it's really tough to bring a guy back. If he goes, that 35, 40 pitches, he's pretty much done for the weekend.
Yeah, and one thing will always be true about this game. Not every arm's the same.
Yeah.
There are some guys, Kevin Kopps in this league a couple years ago, first time and maybe only time we'll ever see a reliever win the Golden Spikes Award. Kevin Kopps was famous for being able to pitch 2 or 3 times in a weekend. But those guys are rare. How many times has Volantis done that this year? I know he did it against A&M. Was that the only time? That he threw twice in a weekend?
Yeah. Austin fouls this ball off. It's been a great offensive night for the Gators. Their best hitters, though. It's 0 for 3 as he steps back in.
He's the only Gator at this point that hasn't reached base.
The 0-2. Just outside. I think being told I must have missed one that Volantis has had 2 weekends where he's pitched twice in a week.
Okay, there you go.
Foul back.
I would assume they'll move him to the rotation next year. I mean, that kind of seems to be the popular opinion. But we had him on during that A&M series. We got to chat with him, and he was talking about how much he loves having the opportunity to impact the game on more than just once a week, and he really enjoys closing the game, the adrenaline rush associated with getting the last 3 outs.
Well, you know, there have been guys over the years, you covered this sports is outside, the pageantry and everything that goes on. I've been there in both locations. So I mean, old Rosenblatt was so much fun, and all the tailgating and everything that was going on around it. But the new location brings in so much of the city and everything involved down in its location as well. I like both places.
Yeah, I mean, Rosenblatt had all the warm and fuzzies and the kind of historical significance. You know, when you played at Rosenblatt, you could feel all the greats that had played there before you. I think the Charles Schwab Stadium.
Yeah.
First of all, it's an incredible area to host the event because you can walk everywhere. All the teams' hotels are close. There's so many restaurants, nightlife, the whole deal. But it is a grander venue. It has very much a major league feel to it.
Fastball nips the outside corner. Mendoza down on strike.
Speaking of Omaha, the SEC, I don't know if you've heard this, Keith, but the SEC's had a pretty good run going there. And other than a drop pop-up in 2018 from that Arkansas crew, it would be 7 straight years of 7 different teams. That's wild.
Yeah, it is wild. Tells you about some depth within a conference. Breakable just misses.
No, not taking anything away from that Oregon State team because they were loaded, and they were actually better in 17 from a record standpoint, but they came back and won it in 18. But certainly Arkansas had their chance.
Pat Casey's third.
Yes.
Ball in there for a strike. 1-1 to Galvan. 0 for 2 as he steps in.
And to think the conference has won 6 out of the last 7 with 6 different champions, and now you've added Texas and Oklahoma.
Yeah, and Skip Johnson's got a good ball club, and they've made their runs. They got to the championship series.
Yeah, and Witherspoon, with Kyson Witherspoon and his brother Malachi, and an offense that is really multiple. They can beat you a lot of different ways. Like, I don't know if they're going to host, but
they're going to be a dangerous number 2 if they don't.
That's right. They could get to Omaha.
Fastball, got it by 94 miles an hour. What a nice job of coming in, giving you some length in a time where we weren't sure we would see anybody more than 6 outs.
Yeah, Billy Barlow, man, has he just been lights out and efficient. It's been pretty low maintenance.
4th strikeout of the night as Flores steps in. Breaking ball in there for a strike. 28 out of 46 pitches in the zone for the right-hander. Just misses there. Count evens at 1-1. Good spinner, and it's 1-2.
Boy, you look at Barlow pitching out there on the mound right now. There's just confidence oozing from him. Really, you feel that with most of this Florida team right now.
Got him with able to pick it up. It's that twilight time, and you can tell Gasparino couldn't find the baseball.
Yeah, so Bijan's pretty popular in the Burke household. Now, you think you could have tackled Bijan?
I don't think I could have caught him.
What if he stumbled or something?
He's so good. The thing that he's so good is he's so good in space. He's not overly big, but he's so good in tight space. Calling some of his games and watching, I can tell you that he could get in a spot, a jam spot, and somehow or another nobody got a straight lick on him, and he was able to get out of it.
Well, Jonah Williams out there in left field, he's gonna be tasked with coming down into the box and tackling dudes like Bijan
Safety,
Robinson.
yeah. Exactly right.
See how much weight he puts on here in his time at Texas. What, about 210 now?
Yeah.
Tall for safety, 6'3", rangy.
Can run. Athletic.
That's going to be a fun one to follow. We haven't had a big-time two-way position player that I can remember in a while. Certainly Oklahoma had Kyler for really just 1 year where he did it on both fields.
Swing and a miss.
But back in the day, 1975, there was pretty good two-way dude.
No,
running around here.
That was a way back. That was way back there.
Way back.
Way back there.
They built them different back then.
Yeah,
didn't
well, everybody ran the wishbone. Nobody chunked it then.
You didn't have to cover in space too much back then.
Nobody in space. It's just Sear in there for a strike. Season high. Sagne. Innings pitched. Just misses upstairs. And he has given up a run, but he's done a really nice job of coming in and sort of giving Texas a chance.
Definitely. Sometimes these are the games within the games where you look back and if you win this series and you're Texas, you say, well, Sagne really helped us by the fact that he was able to save our bullets down there by carrying a heavy load on his own in a game where, yeah, you're right now you're not in it, but he's giving you a chance if the offense could make a run.
The 2-1. Breaking ball just misses. And it's 3-1 now. '51st pitch of the night popped up. Right side, going to be a difficult play.
Uh-oh.
And how about Rodriguez? This ball coming back to the field of play, leaps up and makes the play.
Then when you're sitting here right in the middle of your lineup.
We thought we would see multiple pitchers from the Gators, but Barton, that was his 50th pitch of the day. He's been really good, so Coach O'Sullivan stayed with him.
And why not? Billy Barlow out there just absolutely settling in, and especially last inning, just razor sharp. So, you know, can they trust him to continue to go? I think he's going to get a pretty long leash with a 7-run lead.
2-0 now to Schussler's. He steps back in, 1 for 1. Base on balls and a base hit. 2-1 to the grad senior. He's really made the great transformation. He's been a catcher all of his life. Talking to him all the way back to Little League. And first time he played another position, and he's been outstanding at first base this season for Texas.
And, you know, you see some guys that can make that transition. You know, Bryce Harper grew up his whole life playing catcher. Then he went to right field. Now he plays first base and doing it well. But
this ball ripped the other way.
Playing it and playing it at a high level are two different things.
No doubt.
As you said, Schussler's arguably been their MVP.
Well, he really has. I mean, he's been good offensively, but boy, everybody says, well, just play him at first base. That is not a position. You need to have a guy that can help your other infielders. You're an infielder, and that guy at first could really help you.
Oh, man, there's nothing like a great first baseman. The confidence it instills, especially when you're on the left side of the infield. Nobody touches the ball more but the pitcher and the catcher.
You look at those putouts. First pitch in there for a strike. Florida does have a right-hander up, getting ready to go.
Jackson Barbary, pretty talented kid now. Wait till you see this right-hander. Talk about how they look when they're young. That's how they look. He got a chance to be a real weekend dude for the Gators moving forward.
All speed downstairs.
And, you know, part of the storyline for this one was where they were going bullpen day, and their ace is going tomorrow. So, you know, if you're the Longhorns and you were looking at this series on paper, this was one that you probably felt pretty good about to start the game until you got greeted with a 6 spot.
It's in there for a strike, 1-2.
But this Liam Peterson that it's going tomorrow night for the Gators, he's right up there with the most talented arms in the conference.
The 1-2. Downstairs, nice pick. Ooh. Heyman, a big catcher too. You see those big guys that can get down and block the balls. Such a great target for pitchers. The 2-2. On the ground to first. Throw to second.
Oh my.
How about that? 3-6 double play. And quickly 2 outs here in the Longhorn 6th.
Brody Donay, who another catcher turned into a first baseman. How about this? Put your foot in the ground and throw a strike. You see the catcher arm action right there, Keith, and that is as accurate a throw as you will see a first baseman make. Just a perfect throw, a good snap tag, and the very rare 3-6 double play.
Well done. As a pitcher, you're setting up there, oh, got a leadoff base runner, leadoff base hit. All of a sudden you make one pitch, there's 2 outs.
Boom.
Isn't it pitcher's best friend?
Never a truer saying in the game of baseball than that.
And for us out there playing defense, like if you're in the outfield, you're going, yeah, you know, because you want to get back in the dugout and hit.
Heck yeah. We're all just trying to get to dinner, aren't we, Keith?
That's it. And hit and get to the plate.
That's
is
right.
there anything
with a couple
more,
hits?
Was there anything more fun? No, that I've ever done of anything. It's just get a bat, get in the box, and let's go hit.
That's right. No, I tell youth teams all the time, you can't practice double plays enough. You get 2 outs on one play. Why would we not practice this more?
And in youth league, they're on pitch counts a lot for the pitchers. Gotta love double plays because that gives you longer to stay out there.
But truly, all kidding aside, the ability to turn and feed double plays by middle infielders, third baseman too, such a valuable skill.
Fastball outside corner. A leadoff single turns into the minimum. 6 in the books.
Run the bases too. You played a lot against Kirby, didn't you?
Well, he was in at the same time, but he was in the other league. I was in.
What about when you were? Didn't you finish with Detroit?
Yeah, and got a chance to see him then. And fun guy to go around. I've never seen anybody had as much fun playing a game.
Is that right?
That was a unique crew up there. Tom Kelly, Herback.
Jack Morse ended up there, didn't he?
Yeah. It's a heck of
your old buddy.
Yeah, played with Jack in Detroit. The 1-2. And that hitting. And a leadoff base runner. I tell you, you just look at this bottom half, and well, they've done a lot.
Well, Yost has just been red hot, so he's got 3 knocks. And Nadeau's been fantastic. Ashton Wilson has done his job, but it's really been Yost and Nadeau doing the heavy lifting. Of course, Brody Donay, that was now Donay's 3rd free pass, a walk and 2 hit by pitches. And Yost and Nadeau have made them pay.
Breaking ball comes back to the outside corner. 3 ribbies on the night, 3 for 3 as he steps in.
That's getting it done right there.
Scored twice. Delayed steal again.
They got something on Galvan. That's clearly part of their homework, the fact that they've done that twice. Texas has only allowed a few stolen bases, period, in conference play. Only a handful coming into this series.
Both of them have been really well performed. I mean, you were a good runner, so you probably didn't try it, but that's slow. Those slow guys, that's the way we got some bags. Both of them really good shuffle steps and good explosion.
And I think they've got something on how quickly Galvan
goes
to a knee and looks in for I don't know if he's looking in for, because you got the pitch calm, but it just seems like twice they really caught Galvan off guard. I don't know if we're getting a verbal from Schussler, if he's helped, just clearly the delay has been effective.
Off-speed downstairs. And it's always more effective, Chris, as you know, with the left-handed hitter at the plate. Because, you're not going to get fooled very often as a catcher when, your view is not blocked.
Yeah, there was probably twice in my career at different levels of the game that I got delayed on as a middle infielder, not paying attention. That is a bad feeling.
Just to do it, it's all about that second shuffle, and then right there when that ball comes down, when you come up, he had that bag stolen. Even with a perfect throw, there was nothing you could do about it.
No, it just looked like, again, you said left-handed hitter, so Galvan's not getting a look at it, and Galvan maybe a little extra time with the frame job.
Yeah,
and then by the time the runner comes into his vision or he hears runner, at that point you got no momentum, and it's just too late.
Well, you got two people you could fool. Just like you said,
That's
you got the middle infielder you can fool or the catcher you can fool. Squares the bunt, bunts it foul.
Well, that'll be addressed tomorrow before the game.
Will be.
Jim Slausenagel's not going to take that light. He doesn't like allowing stolen bases, period. So for one team to come in and get, what are they, 3 for 3 tonight?
Yes.
Of course, the one they stole third after being picked off.
Breaking ball.
Sanye's been good.
Yeah, he's given them exactly what Texas needed. Some depth, kept them in the game.
Breaking ball's been sharp. We've seen some good split finger fastballs. Fastball's been good enough.
Tried to come back with the heater inside. Tied him up. Had only 8 hits in the game, but they just took advantage. Did the Gators with those free passes? I mean, 1 hit batter and 4 walks, and they sent 12 guys to the plate in the first inning. That's the difference in this game.
Absolutely.
Fooled him on a breaking ball. 4th strikeout for Sanye.
Just frozen right here. That front door breaking ball we talked about, Keith. That's the one where even after you get buckled, if you can still just pull the trigger, look ugly, foul it off, I'm not saying it's easy. It's not. But rarely does a pitcher do that on purpose. And if you can somehow waste it, you'll save yourself some backwards Ks throughout the course of your career.
I had a teammate, Tony Gwynn, that the ball would be in the catcher's mitt. He'd find a way to
just waste it.
Just keep the at-bat alive.
He was a little different, wasn't he?
Oh, yeah.
What year was that you played with him?
88. Oof.
What did he hit about?
That one up and in for ball one. Bottom third of the order due for Texas here. Borba will step in. 0 for 2 on the night. Right down Broadway. Count evens at 1-1.
Kevin O'Sullivan's time at Florida has been marked by his ability to get kids like this on campus.
Leadoff single from Borba going the other way.
And he's always so honest with his impressions and opinions on the most talented of the kids that he brings in. But he doesn't say it about everybody. You know, he doesn't tell you he's got 6 future big leaguers on it. But when he tells you, he'll say, hey, this one's next, or this one's got a real shot, that kind of deal. Last year, it was Liam Peterson and Luke McNeely. And this year, he looks at you and he says, Jackson Barbery's got a chance. This kid's got a chance. And every time I see him throw, it's pretty clear why Sully's so high on him.
Good breaking ball, just misses. Well, it's loose. Now again, folks out there may not know, as baseball players, you see guys that may be a little stiff when they deliver, even though they got velocity, and then you see those guys got a real loose arm. It is a nice, free and easy and loose arm. Breaking ball, Farmer swings through, and it's 1-2.
He's got another, so we talked about the freshmen that are making a bunch of relief appearances. We got another freshman in Aiden King that's been pitching all year on the weekend for him. You talk about Peterson and McNeely and Clemente will be juniors next year. And then Barbery
always
and Aiden,
have that depth through the years.
They keep coming. Then King and Barbery will be sophomores. And it just keeps on coming.
Three consecutive breaking ball. Farmer swings through.
Just a hammer curveball right there. Farmer goes fishing.
That's just incredible. What in the last 12 SEC games, ERA is less than half. And then how about the walks? That's the one that jumps off the page to me.
Well, we talk about it tonight, right? Why is Texas down so much in this ball game? Because of the free passes, right? And Florida, the reason they got off such a bad start was because there was just so – I called a game with them where they walked 12 against Ole Miss.
You can't defend it.
No.
There's nothing you can do. I mean, you can't put a roadblock between home and first base after 4 balls outside the zone. Williams steps back in.
Jonah Williams got some juice in him now. Look at him. It's 8-1. He's a freshman. He's been in the lineup for like 3 minutes in his career.
Yeah.
And he's not taking this whole, we're just going to roll over and lose on game 1 lightly. He has got all kinds of juice. And the crowd is reacting. Look at him.
He's ready to go.
I love it when we get some football juice on the baseball field. The fans are digging it too.
The 3-1. Taking all the way. You need base runners. I like the 3-1 take. Now, because you're going to get a heater here, 3-2.
Can't hit a 7-run homer.
Sure can't. The payoff. Pitch is outside, ball 4. Couple of runners on here.
Schloss is calling timeout. Schloss is calling timeout, and he's not calling. He's going right to Jonah Williams. this is a tricky one for me, Keith, because, you know, yeah, there was a lot of juice in this AB, but there's not a lot of juice in the building. There's not a lot of juice in your dugout. So if you're Schloss, what do you think the mess? Are you coaching that out of him there?
No, I don't think you're coaching it out of him. I think he's probably telling him, he says, you got to stay within the game. I mean, throwing the bat away that's one thing. There's no doubt. But when you turn back and look back, you know, at that point, you are down 8-1.
Yes, you are. I wonder, we all know that every player's unique, right? You got to coach them for who they are and what their strengths and weaknesses are. But I've just, you know, they're still getting to know Jonah Williams as a player, right? He's still very, very young in his career.
And he's taking an offensive timeout, and I like it. I mean,
I just wonder. I wonder what the depth of that conversation was, because Jonah Williams, that was his third at bat. He hasn't approached every at bat like that.
No.
Well, that'll be it for Barbary. Huh.
We'll give you the new picture when we come back. 8-1 Florida. So this game seems to be in control right now.
Yeah, you know, Barlow gave you more than you were expecting, right? So even though you had this script, Barlow gave you more. So you could pull the plug on Barbary quicker and toss the ball to McNeely. 59 strikeouts in 42 innings. The fastball's going to get up 96, 97 mile an hour range, and two big-time breaking balls, a slider and a curveball.
Well, he'll face the top of the order with a couple on. Scenario that Texas has not been in very often in this ballgame. They had them loaded in the first with 2 outs and came up empty. Mendoza 0 for 2. He's been hit by a pitch, 4th plate appearance. First pitch fastball in there for a strike. Mendoza's been really good, Berkey, all year long with runners in scoring position at a 400 clip.
That'll get it done. Perfect opportunity here to claw your way back into making this one interesting. There's, you see, a first really good slider there from Luke McNeely. But everybody, whenever you face a big deficit, you're always just trying to, how do we get the tying run to the plate at some point in the ball game, right? Can you get 2 or 3 here and 2 or 3 next inning and make it interesting in the 9th?
Ooh. Just didn't see that cutter. Comes up with a strikeout.
It's electric stuff now. Fastball up to 97 and just a wipeout slider. As you said, Mendoza didn't see that one at all. Just waves at it. And the Gators now have 2 here in the 7th.
And their 11th strikeout as a team tonight. 11 Longhorns as Galvan steps in. This is his 4th plate appearance. He struck out in all 3 of his previous plate appearances. And he's down here 0-1.
97 at the knees to start this one off.
Chops this ball on the ground. That's a fair ball. Steps on the bag and ends the for ball 1. Oh for 2. Stolen base. Scored back in the first inning. Still pretty good stuff.
Yeah. Fastball right by him. Got to deal with the top of this Gator order here.
The 1-1. We do have an update, Chris. A series, a big one, real important one. Baton Rouge, Arkansas and LSU. They are going to try to start that game 9:55 Central Time. It'll be 10:55 Eastern Time. That ball game will get underway. Game 1 of that series.
Delays just a part of life in the Bayou.
Well, see them. They do have the tarp off, able to have a little infield, and they're getting ready to go at the box.
Something tells me the crowd will still be around for that one.
Foul back. Yeah, I've been down there a few times, and they'll be ready to go.
We'll have postseason baseball at both the Box and Baum-Walker. The two are the best venues in all of college baseball.
Yes, they are. Ball hit pretty well into right center, but playable. Farmer right at the edge of the track puts it away. First out.
Is that a Bronx cheer? Farmer just got right there. Felt a little like it.
Well, he's had 2 balls in his hands tonight. Now, one of them he hit flat, did run square into the wall. But
yeah.
You and I both look at each other and go, the ball was coming out before he hit the wall.
The first one, the ball came out right before he hit the wall. The second one was definitely by the wall, but that one, no wall issues.
Nice job by Saunier for the Longhorns to eat up some innings, keep them at basically the same level. We'll give you the new pitcher coming into the game. 8-1 Florida.
With a great idea, you just want to get things down on paper. Grammarly is the second set of eyes that helps me get work done. My name is Claudia. I'm a marketing manager and adjunct professor. Grammarly takes a lot of the heavy lifting off my plate. With AI Compose, it will give me a great outline to start with so that I can focus on expanding and elevating ideas. I use Grammarly every time I write because I can put my trust in it to help me communicate effectively. Download Grammarly for free. With a great idea, you just want to get things down on paper. Grammarly is the second set of eyes that helps me get work done. My name is Claudia. I'm a marketing manager and adjunct professor. Grammarly takes a lot of the heavy lifting off my plate. With AI Compose, it will give me a great outline to start with so that I can focus on expanding and elevating ideas. I use Grammarly every time I write because I can put my trust in it.
Sides of the floor.
Then it's showtime for the WNBA's at Liberty at 1, Sky at Fever at 3. Saturday, May 17th on ABC.
Grayson Saunier did a fantastic job for the Longhorns here in this one. The tall task of slowing down this Gator offense, but he was up to the challenge. Breaking ball was really good. We saw a split finger that created some swing and miss as well. A career-long outing for him in a Longhorn uniform. Fantastic job. 5 1/3, 2 earned runs, 4 strikeouts. Getting a lot of love from his teammates there because he certainly did his job.
Well, he did do his job, and the other part about that is you save guys in your bullpen for the weekend. Here in the first one, a lot of career highs. Coming into the game is Hudson Hamilton. He is a sophomore right-hander from Spring. The last 2 or 3 times out for Hamilton. It's really started to come on. He struggled early with those 4 walks. We're in the early part of those 9 innings, but the last few times out, he's been in the strike zone on a regular basis. Fastball, slider. Breaking ball, chop foul. Brendan Lawson, one of the best offensive players around. Good hitter. He's one of the few Gators that has had struggles tonight. 0 for 4 as he steps in. Fouled away. Berkey, I know it happened to you because it happened to me. You're in one of those games, your team's winning big,
yeah.
Everybody's having a good night. Did you ever have one of those nights where everybody's had a good night on the team except you?
You know, I'm sure that I did. One of the ones that stood out the most was, and I say I'm sure I did because this one's a little different than playing and taking the collar in a night where your team scores a couple touchdowns.
Yeah.
This was one, my second year in AA, which I was in Round Rock. The great Jackie Moore was our manager.
Yes.
The great Jackie Moore. And we were in the middle of May, and I hadn't had an off day yet. And he said, Berkey, here's the deal. Organization called. They noticed you hadn't had an off day yet. They told me I got to sit you. I said, Jackie, no, you don't. Like, I was off to a great start. I said, why would you have to sit me when I'm not sore, I'm not tired, I'm not hurt, I'm playing great? No. He said, well, here's the deal. We got a night game followed by a 10 a.m. game. You're not playing both of them. So you either can pick or I'll pick for you. And I said, Jackie, I am not going to tell you a game that I'm not going to play in. So
I'm not ready to play.
That's right. So I'm going to show up ready to play, and if you don't put me in the lineup, I guess I won't play that day. So he tells me, so I show up next night game, I'm in lineup. I already know I'm off, the next day, whatever. So the next day I show up, I'm not in lineup, I'm ticked. He kind of gave me a hard time. He says, don't even bring your cleats.
Okay.
So I'm like, okay, it's not the worst. Let me just mentally just kind of enjoy being a good teammate. We get like 23 hits and score 16 runs. And I really tried to be like a good teammate for the first like 8 or 10 runs. But I'll be honest with you, I was pretty ticked by about hit number 15. I'm like, wait a second.
They got pitchers, they got catchers and outfielders pitching in the game.
I'm like,
you're getting to place a guy that's just lobbing it up there now.
I was like the guy going, I'm so happy for you guys. It's great. Way to go. Another hit. Good job. There you go, kid. Get you one.
I did. Got a pitch up. Didn't get frustrated and put a good swing on it. Beat the shift for a one-out single.
He can smile in the dinner line tonight.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. That's just a hanging changeup.
It was up there, right? Had a flashing sign on it saying "hit me."
Takes his glasses off to run the bases. Oh, that's interesting.
I hadn't seen that before.
Oven mitt on, glasses off. You'd have been an oven mitt guy in the days. No chance.
I don't think. I never wore any armor and all the stuff that they have now. And I guess it's it's probably pretty good to protect that tricep.
Yeah. Elbow.
Yeah.
The piece of equipment that has come up that I think is the most useful is the one that goes over your mouth. Like, it doesn't happen a lot, but when dudes, when a guy gets hit in the face with a baseball, nobody.
It ain't pretty.
No. So the fact that they've come up with those extensions that really help the hitter protect their face is, I think, the best preventative piece of equipment that's come out in the last 20 years or so.
Did he go? Yes, he did. On a good breaking ball there. Hamilton gets the strikeout. We played an extra inning game one time, like 20 innings, and when you look up and you're 0 for 6, or you're looking at that going, man. I mean, of course, it was a very low-scoring game, so nobody was having a great. Pitchers were winning the day, but still, you go up for that 7th or 8th at bat and go, mercy. If I get a hit, I'm still hitting 116 for the day.
Cecil Cooper was our bench coach for a couple years with the Astros, and when we'd have rain delays and stuff, I used to ask him stories. Hey, Cecil, tell me about your best game. Tell me about your worst game. So I asked him to tell me about his worst game one time. He said, well, one game I was 0 for 7 with 7 strikeouts. I said, 0 for 7 with 7 strikeouts.
That swing.
How'd you come up 7 times in a game? He said, well, we played 13 innings. Who'd you play? Well, we played the I guess it would have been the Astros. We played the Astros. Who pitched? Nolan Ryan. Well, who else pitched? Nolan Ryan. I said, you had 7 strikeouts off Nolan Ryan? He said, yeah, he threw all 13 innings. That was the game. He threw like 210 pitches or something.
There was no pitch counts.
Now, seriously, so Doc Coleman was our strength coach. And you statisticians out there, if I'm a little off on the innings, it was something like this. Doc Coleman said he charted, one of his jobs was he used to chart the games. And that Nolan threw over 100 pitches, over 100 miles an hour in that game.
I believe it.
And he threw like 210 pitches total in the game. Something crazy like that.
And I guarantee you, it's at 209. If it was a heater, it was right at 100.
And I think Cecil ended up hitting the game-winning sac fly. I think he was 0 for 7 with a sac fly. Something crazy like that. It's just unbelievable, the stories back in the day.
Upstairs.
Who else did you face? All Nolan Ryan.
Yeah.
Wait, that math doesn't math. No, it does.
In today's world, there's no way. Evans 2 for 4 with a couple of doubles, a couple of runs scored. Hit now 2-1.
Games, and now what's really interesting is it's both the Aggies and Mississippi State who really need sweeps
badly.
So I feel like the pressure is even more on the opposition. And I'm not trying to make light of Missouri's situation.
No, but
nobody wishes that on them. But
right.
I really think that's the truth.
You're absolutely right. I mean, you look up and you're saying, well, we're supposed to win all these games, and then all of a sudden you don't.
Which is never the case in this league. Nobody starts a series thinking we're going to sweep the series. But when a team's 0-24, you expect to sweep the series. That's just that would be the only acceptable result. By the way, Nolan Ryan threw 235 pitches that day. I was off.
235.
And I'm sure made his next start, by the way.
Oh, yeah, 5 days later. Because sometimes, back then, sometimes it was 4.
That's right. 4 days of rest every 5th day, right?
Yeah. Here's our next NWSL match. It's the Chicago Stars host the Washington Spirit tomorrow. Coverage begins at 12:30 Eastern Time, 11:30 a.m. Central Time. It's Stars and Spirit tomorrow. Leadoff base runner here for Texas at the bottom of the 8th. Fastball in there for a strike.
Yes, MAB's on Nolan?
Yeah, a lot. In fact, he wouldn't have the strikeout record if he had basically. No. Yeah, he got me a bunch of times.
Heaters,
he got
curveballs,
everybody.
Both. That year he threw 235 pitches. He only threw 323 innings, Keith.
Good grief.
Did he have a sequence that he used to get you on all the time, or did he mix it up, or
No,
really didn't matter?
And as he got older, he got better.
Really?
When I first faced him, he didn't have a little changeup or a little command of an off-speed pitch. He would throw you that big hammer, but you knew you had one or two to look for. And then as he got older, he became a better pitcher. And then he had a little change. I know he got me once with him loaded on a 3-2 off changeup, and
that's not fair.
That's not fair.
No.
I had 40-something at bats or something against him.
You were 10 for 44 off of him. That ain't bad.
Not terrible.
Did you take him deep?
I did.
You did. He's in the book. Let's go.
The 2-2. The end of the bat foul, back out of play.
Nolan, Keith is not bragging. I'm asking him these questions, so don't come up in the booth and throw one at his head.
Such a good guy, too. I mean,
the presence around him.
It's a hitter. You weren't going to be close friends when he was playing.
Right.
After playing, spending time with him, you worked.
Well, he was our owner, with Ground Rock. So when you get to meet him, it was like not even real life to get to meet him.
On the ground, a short, across his body. He's in the dirt, gets away. So down to second base goes Schussler. First time we've heard this crowd tonight. So a couple on here with nobody out.
Yeah, the loudest the crowd's been since Jonah Williams walked. Bozer, one of the toughest plays a shortstop will make, ranging to your right, and you have to throw it on the run across the body. Just doesn't give it enough gas. Donay can't keep it in front. The Longhorns now got something cooking here. Bottom of the 8th, second and third, nobody out. Oh, wow.
Oh.
Wow.
That is a huge update. That's game still in the top of the 9th. 9-6. Tigers out in front now. Rodriguez steps in. 2 for 3 tonight. It's a triple and an RBI. He's drove in the only run of the night. True freshman from Flower Mound. Check his swing. Yes, he did.
Now, wouldn't it be crazy if all the work the Aggies have put, because we talk about Florida's comeback. The Aggies were 1-9, excuse me. And they had just got no hit in Knoxville to fall to 1-9 in the conference. And then they picked themselves back up and put themselves right back in the conversation to make the postseason. Now, after all that hard work, if they're unable to capitalize on a series at home against Missouri, that could really be something.
This ball hit well down the left field line, but fading foul. Oh, no doubt, Chris. I mean, but before we knew that score, we were just talking about the pressure.
Yes.
Because the guys at Missouri are going to. They don't want to. They're probably playing harder now. They've played all.
No doubt. Nobody wants that over their head.
Fouled away. Keeps the at bat alive, and that hurt. And
Missouri has scored 6 in the 9th.
I don't know if he's had a hammock bone situation, and you can tell right there that
one stung a little bit.
That stung. It is not a fracture. It's been bruised. Swing and a miss. This is the previous pitch. This is the one he fouls off. Chris, you can just see right there.
Yeah, wincing in pain. That was very uncomfortable.
And then watch him swing through it here.
Boy, it took him to his knees, Keith.
Yeah,
that's no fun.
That's no fun. Good. First pitch to Gasparino in there for a strike. Gasparino 0 for 3 as he steps in. Still 1 out in the inning. This is inside. 2-1 now. Good location with that heater. Knee-high inside corner.
Neely gets some good angle on that fastball. He throws that thing. Not as much the upshoot fastball like we see from a lot of guys. That thing is dead downhill.
The 2-2. Outside corner. Frozy. Back-to-back strikeouts after runners were at second and third and nobody out.
Pretty good sequence right there. Fastball down and in to get it to 2-2, and then a paint piece on the outer edge here with a slider, and that just leaves Gasparino frozen.
It's going to leave a lot of right-handed hitters frozen. Borba steps in, single to right his last time up. 1 for 3 on the night. evens, 1-1. The right-hander set. Chopped on the ground. Going to be a tough play across his body. Not going to get an out. Longhorns push one across here with an infield single.
Another tough chance here for Bozer, ranging way deep into the hole. Tries to make that one hopper across his body. Good job by Donay. Just come off. Keep the baseball in front. Wasn't going to throw Borb out anyway, and Longhorns tack one on.
Farmer will step in. Runners at first and third. Get one into the gap here, and all of a sudden, get a little bit different feel in this ball game.
Yeah, we talked about it earlier. Can you get the tying run to the plate in the ninth? Give yourself a puncher's chance. As you said, a double right here certainly would make that a little more interesting.
Breaking ball, fouled off. And it's quickly 0-2. Florida right-hander. A pitch away from getting out of it. Comes set. This ball back.
One of these next two, and then go get swept on the road at Georgia. Like you're not in. I mean, you're not making the tournament, even though they have 3 of the best series wins anybody has.
Liner right at Flores with a nice play. Take a base hit away from Sear. Nice job of the Longhorn shortstop.
Yeah, move to your left, hit the dirt, hop up a little 360, gather and show off that big-time arm. Boy, make that play look easy. Think about this, though. The Aggies have beaten Tennessee on the road, Arkansas on the road, and they're coming off beating LSU. That's 3. I mean, that's 3 of the best series wins anybody in the country has.
And no doubt. And nobody else can. I don't think anybody else in this conference can claim that.
That's as good a resume from that standpoint, especially considering 2 of those are on the road. Yet here they are, 10-15, and they just blew a 3-run lead in the ninth. And they had their guy on the bump. I mean, Weston Moss has got the ball.
Yeah. That's just not gonna play well.
No, it's not. I mean, it's just hard to overcome. And again, you now put yourself in a situation where you have to win the next 2 games.
Yes.
Period.
Check his swing. Yes, he did.
That one is not going to sit well in Aggie land.
This ball skied in the infield. To the shift side. Flores calls for it, makes the play for the 2nd out of the inning.
You ever get mad at your shortstop when he come over right at third base and take a pop up away?
You take it.
Okay, you had no problem with it.
I had no problem with that. You take it.
I played with Orlando Hudson in Arizona, and he would draw a line at second base out there, and he would tell you, do not cross this line. I don't care if you're the shortstop or not. If it's over here, I'm catching it.
What, he just wanted those putouts?
Yes. And he had won 3 straight Gold Gloves, and I said, yes, sir. You got it. The old dog.
Yeah.
The old dog had a great line. You ready for this? Can't win a Gold Glove on your feet.
You got to be having a dirty uniform?
Well, he would go to the outfield, and I'm not saying all the time, but he's been known to maybe let up on a pop-up to the outfield and then slide. You know, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah, but as long as you make that play.
That's right. You can't win a Gold Glove on your feet now.
What a night Hayden Yost has had. 3 for 4. He's driven in 3. Look at his last 4 SEC games.
Is that any good?
That's
a
big
heater.
numbers.
That's a serious heater.
Three and 1 now. And a 2-out walk. Bullpen for Texas has really done a nice job. I mean, we'd be in a 2-2 ball game.
Yeah, Riojas just didn't have it. We know this club's been dealing with some flu bug going around their club, and I think Riojas maybe wasn't at full strength, just didn't quite have it tonight.
Yeah, I mean, you have a tough time if you do have that. You lose your strength. I think anytime you don't feel good, you don't have that edge. I mean, and I think, Chris, I don't know about you. You're a good player, played a long time. It's like I did. I felt like you had to have an edge every time I walked out there to play.
And it just didn't feel like Riojas had much of that tonight. This ball wasn't sharp coming out of his hand. He didn't have his normal command of the baseball. And the Gators just absolutely made him pay.
You got to take advantage of it. And they've been playing good ball, and they saw that and took advantage of it. Wilson will step back in. Upstairs, 1-2. Peeking ahead to the Longhorn ninth. It'll be 9-1-2 in the bottom of the inning. Just missed the outside corner. And the count evens.
You're this deep into your freshman season, you're no longer really a true freshman anymore. And Christian Rodriguez, one of those guys who the numbers might not look great, but has gained invaluable experience as the season is unfolded. And now, yeah, it's a 6-run ball game, but still, Sully trusts him to get the last 3 outs here in the ninth.
Jonah Williams will step in. First pitch taking in there for a strike. Well, it's free and easy at 94 right there.
Let's see if the energy's the same here from Jonah in this.
Change up. Had him out in front. It's quickly 0-2. Like Rodriguez is ready to go. He's looking for a sign. The 0-2. Got him with a good changeup. Had him out in front. Just take a look. All of a sudden, Florida looks like they're going to hold on here. They got their ace due tomorrow and be one up in the series.
Yeah, which would give them, if they're able to win that game tomorrow, that would give them series wins over Arkansas and Texas.
Yeah, I think
in 2 of their last 3.
If they finish as well as they played tonight, they got a shot at being one of those hosts.
I know. We talked about it earlier. I just, the committee tells us every year on Selection Monday that they look at the full body of work and they really try to not put more emphasis on the way a team finishes than the way they play earlier in the middle of the season. But it would be pretty hard to ignore a team that's dealt with this many injuries, that took a while to kind of find its footing after those injuries took place, and then finished
above 500
in
SEC play.
How could you not at least give the context of that?
It's ball rifled back up the middle by Mendoza on a pitch Rodriguez left up.
There's a lot of baseball between now and a series win for
There
Florida,
is.
but getting off to a 1-0 start, pretty big deal, again, with your ace sitting in the on-deck circle.
Galvan will step in. Galvan 0 for 4 on the night as he steps in. It's the 7th hit of the night for Texas. Fastball in there for a strike. The 0-1 from Rodriguez. Bender misses outside.
I just keep going back and forth in my brain about Texas A&M. I mean, they just lost Friday night, and this is a team that has as impressive of wins as any team in the country, and they've been playing good ball for the last 6 weeks.
Yeah, other than the one series here, but when they lost 3 one-run games.
Yes, they were one play away from all 3 of those games.
Absolutely.
And to lose on a night where you had your guys. I mean, they went Prager to Weston Moss like they've been doing all year when they've won on Friday nights.
Breaking ball, foul back. Rodriguez got away with one there. He hung that spinner. Outside, the count evens at 2-2. The 2-2. This is inside, and the count goes full.
Pretty good pitch right there.
Yes, it was.
Fastball just off the inside edge.
With some run in there.
Yeah, 94 with some run.
The payoff. Jalisi fouled it back.
And Florida's got 2 guys up in the bullpen playing catch. I don't know if either one of those is Jake Clemente, but if you're Texas, again, the game, no, neither one of those is Clemente. No, maybe there is. Is that 20? Yeah, that is. So Clemente down there playing catch, looking like he's close to being ready. But you'd love, if you're the Longhorns, you'd love to get Clemente in this ball game.
Chases a high fastball. It comes up equal. Here's this week's Sunday night matchup. Series finale between Bryce Harper and the Phillies and Jose Ramirez of the Guardians. 7 Eastern, 4 Pacific on ESPN, ESPN Deportes, and ESPN Radio. Our coverage begins at 6 Eastern, 3 Pacific with Baseball Tonight, Sunday Night Countdown. It's a good one from Cleveland. As Flores steps in, not holding the runner at first. Mendoza will get second. That'll be not a stolen base, it's just fielder's indifference.
Very, very rare defensive indifference.
Yeah. 0-1 to Flores. Outside. Jalen 0 for 3. He has scored a run and walked. 1-1, fouled off right side. Texas down to their final strike.
But Texas back to the drawing board.
I no doubt. 4 consecutive losses in SEC play. We're saying that with 1-2 count and 2 outs here. Chased a high hard one, and now it's official. So they've dropped 3 in a row. And how about Florida going on the road in a bullpen night, Chris, to come away with an 8-2 victory?
Yeah, I mean, just red hot, and you got Texas has dropped 4 straight. Florida is absolutely rolling, and you said it, first inning. Without the first inning, that's a typical Texas home ball game, 2-2 headed to the 9th. But the first inning did happen, and Texas has got to refine their mojo. But a team that doesn't need to find their mojo is Florida Gators.